How much are you willing to put in is up to you.
Well, for me, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about passion, you know, and doing what you love, happiness, you know, because like, you know, when you're doing what you love, even though it's your job and you make a little bit of money out of it, you won't see it as a job because you wake up every day and you are just happy to do what you do because you love it, and balance, and never forget to have fun.
How many of you have kids? Okay, would you guys say that adding kids to the equation completely fucks up everything, right?
I don't have kids. I have goats.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, when he comes in, I'm like, okay, now imagine him plus two little motherfuckers like, Mom, you know, and it's this one birthday, and here's the cake, and I'm dieting, oh, Mom, come on, you know, it's McDonald's night, you know, whatever. Or if it's just simply,
there's different stages of every different stages, man. Like that stage, not in that stage. I don't know what I do.
But let's be honest, having kids is just a responsibility, just like having another job that you have to do, and you have to try to manage that. And I think if you really try hard enough, like the key word was time management. Where can I squeeze in this little hour? You know what I'm saying? And I won't lie, I know, especially, I got 4 kids, right? Most days seem impossible. By the time you get off work and get home and they jump on you and crawl, and now you gotta fuss at these two about their grades, and you know, this one got in trouble and now they're fighting each other, then you gotta cook dinner and they need to clean their rooms and all of this stuff. Damn, I'm supposed to go to the gym. You know, and there would be times for me at night, I wouldn't go to the gym until after they went to bed, you know, then I'll go to the gym. So I had to like give them some of me. I had to give my kids' mom some of me. And then that would be that little bit of time I have for myself. And another common thing, 4 o'clock in the morning and lack of sleep. That also seems to be a common thing with successful people. And that's fucked up because sleep is the most important thing, right? Like a person that does nothing, just lives a normal life, is supposed to sleep 8 hours in order for their body to recover. So here we are adding on training and all of this stuff that breaks our body down, and we sleep less because of it, you know? And so that makes it harder, I think. And I definitely believe if you add the lack of rest into it, then you also are gonna, by default, add an increase in stress. Because when you sleep less, stress goes up, right? And that plays a whole nother part and makes everything a lot more difficult too. But when you have passion, like what Blessing says, that's what energizes you to try to get through all of these stressful, sleepless, tired as hell times. And you have to be a bit stubborn and refusing to damn give up. You know what I'm saying? Just refusing to give up.
But sometimes when you lose, you gotta keep grinding.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah.
Can't give up.
Yep.
Good question. Why are you in the back?
Two questions. One is the sport crawl out of McMillan.
Not yet. Hopefully by June.
Awesome. And what do you guys do outside of fitness and work for like self-care? Or do you do anything like specifically that's like, hey, this is my me time? What do you do?
Yeah, me time is just outside. Yeah, that's why we moved to Montana. Just be outside, hiking, boating, that's me time. Just have fun, travel.
I mean, I like going fishing and making crazy videos. That's my me time.
I watch porn. A good 3 or 4 minutes. After that, I don't have no me time.
Then he falls asleep. Then there's like a good sleep after that.
That's all I got. I maximize that time, man, you know. Sometimes I have like 3 on at once, you know. Just...
3 screens? You mean 3 big ass screens?
I'm just playing.
No, he's not. That is his truth. Okay, next question. He likes porn. It's actually terrible. It's horrible. Oh my gosh. It's probably snowing there right now. Who knows? It's ugly. Those mountains aren't even real. It's actually, we like project it through, we have like this giant projector and we project the mountains there. They're not real. Yeah, it's actually flat. Montana's totally flat. It's ugly. You know, it's all fake. Yeah. We took one of the Bob Ross paintings and then like we just project it in like behind us so it looks like they're like, look how beautiful it is. No, it's terrible. Don't move there.
Kind of like how y'all girls be projecting that ass on Instagram. That shit is flat like Montana. Oh my God.
Hey, questions. These are great. I like doing these with you. Yeah, we should do these all the time.
We'll probably be in trouble.
Don't be shy. Cool. We got another one. Rip them.
Holy fuck, yeah. Injuries.
I just started actually treating my body a little bit better. Luckily, I haven't had any actual injuries, and I didn't always lift appropriately either. I know for me with leg day, I never used to wear sleeves or belts, or I just never believed in any of that until I tried them. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I've ever squatted without like anything on my knees, because now I refuse. If I will not squat unless there's something on my knees, because it just doesn't feel safe. But yeah, I started doing like anytime I have any links or kinks in my shoulder, sometimes I'll get some stuff. But I work with like a PT doctor right now who does like dry needling and stim at the same time, which actually helps a lot. But again, I'm terrible when it comes, like I don't stretch, I don't get massages, I feel like I just don't have time for it until I actually start feeling bad. So it's never like a bad thing to be more proactive. I'm not proactive, I'm reactive. And then I use, a lot of dry needling.
We just like you. We don't think about injuries until we actually get hurt.
Until it happens.
Yeah. One thing I can tell you that is like what we all should do is we all should at least our training towards flexibility and mobility. We absolutely should, and especially our lower body, because from your feet to your ankles, Achilles, your tibialis, everything, all of this can create knee pain, and you're thinking the knee pain is coming from the squats, not realizing that the knee pain is coming from the lack of flexibility in your hamstrings, for example, or the lack of flexibility in your Achilles is causing all the other muscles to pull on the joints improperly. So I think the biggest thing we could do to help prevent injuries is to spend some time working on that. There was a time where my knees hurt so bad I would take Tylenol before I go train legs so that I could just not feel my knees, and I would wrap my knees real tight when I squat because I just don't want to feel none of that pain to get through it. And the lady that does my deep tissue, she said, that that's kind of fucked up, right? And I was like, she said, you're taking something so that you don't feel pain when the pain is a signal of a problem. And you're trying to ignore that? So how long is that gonna go before you create an even bigger issue? And so we started discussing it, and she said, you have to dedicate 1 hour of your day to stretching and mobility.
Okay, she crazy. Yeah. I don't got time for that. At least 5 minutes, right. So try it.
So exactly. I'm gonna give it 30 seconds.
Just try, like 5 minutes.
And 30, that's it. But listen, so I hired this lady that was a ballet instructor. And she had me doing all these freaky little movements and stuff, right? And I would have to hold some of my stretches for up to 5 minutes. And I'll be looking all weird. I'll be looking weird. I have me some yoga pants and shit, and I'll be barefoot, So anyway, the point is though, I think I was able to do this for about 3 months, and all my knee pain went away. And my range of motion in my squats was better. I didn't have to take nothing for pain when I squat. I didn't have to wrap my knees, everything, because my body just opened up when I dedicated that time to stretching. We have to understand that as we add this muscle, we lose some flexibility along the way if we don't work to maintain it. The same thing happens with any mainstream athlete. You know, they get real good at moving fast, being strong, but if they don't dedicate that time towards their mobility, their body won't even be able to apply that speed and strength without creating an injury. So the difference between us is this football player, this basketball player, they have a trainer and these guys get paid, go over there and stretch for 2 hours. And that's your training day, so somebody makes you do it. And we have the choice to just not. So we say, fuck it, we ain't stretching. You know, because guess what? As soon as I quit going to her, I quit stretching and my knee pain came right back, you know? So that's just how it is. But I definitely believe that the answer is to dedicate some time towards that. We have to. I think we have to train smart. A lot of times we go in the gym and we train based on what we think we can do, what somebody says we can do. Let me max out. Let me see how much I can do. And sometimes that style of training may not necessarily create muscle growth, but it's numbers that we can follow. I did this much that last week and I do this much this week. That's progress. So we use those numbers, you know, as a way of gauging progress, but sometimes that's a very quick way to lead to an injury as well.
For Cedric, two part. Have you had a modified training since your cycling accident, and when do you plan on taking the stage?
Okay, I'll be competing again in August, for sure. I've seen a couple of shows. I hadn't chosen one yet. I definitely had to change my training because of my hand, and so I just did lower body. And I could still, there was some things I could do a little bit, but not really. And so I made a few videos just fucking around trying to do stuff. But now I'm good, you know, like my hand still hurts a little, but I can use it 100% like I need to. So yeah, I'll still be doing that. Any other? Yeah.
This question for all three of you guys. Now everybody here is, you know, you should do it like this, do it like this. Maybe one session a day, 2 sessions a day. I'm just curious how y'all done y'all's workout, those trainings, be able to separate cardio and bodybuilding, weight training separate. You know, what kind of pattern y'all do y'all's routine? That way it works for y'all in y'all's lives.
Well, for me, you know, it's like, you know, everyone's different, you know, and you got to find out what works for you, you know, and, you know, it takes time to figure out what works. So it's all about listening to your body, trying various training systems, and eventually you're going to find something that works. And as well, working with a coach sometimes might help, you know, like that, you two together can figure out what works and what don't, you know, and once you find out what works, just stick to it. And from there, you obviously going to progress and you're going to be better.
I think part of it, obviously, find out what works, but you have to enjoy how you train. I probably, I've had coaches saying like, no, it's like, stop training like that, you're not. But if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, then there's no point. So I remember competing in figure, and I was too big, I was too hard, I was too shredded or whatever, and I did terrible. I would go to every show and be dead last. And they'd be like, stop training so hard, just do cardio, stop training your abs, like don't train so heavy. But I was like, that defeats the whole purpose of why I'm here. I love the way I train. I like to train this way. Big supersets, big compound sets. We did a lateral raise set that we did probably almost 200 reps last night. And that's how I enjoy training. So a huge part of it is you have to enjoy the way you train. Is it always the right way? Probably not. That goes with diet as well. Like, you have to is eating tilapia and asparagus the right way? There's no wrong or right way to anything, but you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're not going to stick to it. So a huge part of it is enjoying what you're doing. Regardless if that's what the gurus say or not, you have to enjoy it.
So then with saying that, if the gurus say you gotta eat tilapia and asparagus and you fucking hate it, what do you do?
Different fish.
You find another source, right? Yeah. Find another source that you can eat without torturing yourself.
To vomit.
Right. Okay, I got a question in, and this is still part of your question. With your training and your cardio, do you have a set time of day that you do everything?
Not currently, but like if I was getting ready for a show, yeah. Like cardio first thing in the morning. I like it fasted. And then training is just whenever I would fit it in.
Yeah.
Like my perfect training day would be right around like 10 or 11 o'clock, but it never ended up there. It was usually 4, 5, 6,
Yep.
10 o'clock at night, just whenever I could fit it in.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
cardio was always, I always liked it separate. I always like cardio in the morning. I don't like doing it at night. If it had to be together, you do your weight training first, cardio second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious because, like, we get up before,
Yeah.
or more than me. But anyways, we try to put it all in together. We get 4 minutes.
Yeah, you got to get it in. Yeah, do your training first when you have the most energy.
Yep.
Save the cardio for last, or even if you have to do it later in the day, like before, put the kids to bed, go do a little cardio then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this new thing that I've been doing for the last couple of years, and I'm pretty sure everybody is going to disagree with me on this. But remember earlier we were talking about sleep. I think sleep is the most important. And so what I began to do, because my sleep sucks, I began to prioritize that. And so instead of cutting sleep to go train and put more demand on the body, or cutting sleep to go do cardio, I would try to prioritize sleep to at least a baseline. Like, look, even if I can't stay asleep, I'm gonna just fucking lay here until I have a total of about 8 hours, right? So here's my theory. If you go train and you work out, your body can't recover and create progress until you're sleeping. If you go do cardio and all of this stuff, yeah, maybe you can burn some body fat in the session, but I believe that you need to sleep in order to produce the progress. And when you cut that in half and you're not getting it, it's creating, it could create an issue. So what I started doing was saying, sleep is the most important. Let me make sure I get as much of that as I can. And then, this is what y'all not gonna like. Maybe it means missing a workout because of the busy day, the kids or whatever. Do the muscles disappear in a day? No. Will you lose progress? My theory is no. Why? Because you're getting the sleep that you need. Now, if you train every day and sleep half the time, or you work out half the time and get all the sleep, where do you end up in the end of both of those two scenarios? That's the question, right? And so I told myself, I think let's try the sleep part and see how that goes, because I feel like it's so important, not only to your progress, but to so many factors in your body and your total wellness. So, shit, if I'm sitting here, I love working out. You love working out. If you're laying here like, fuck, I do not want to go to the gym, not today, do you go?
Most of the time, yes.
Just get up and push it and go.
I go.
Right, and that's what we do. And I started telling myself, if I feel like this, fuck the gym today, then I won't go. Because I said, maybe this is my body telling me, like, when you go, are you even going to create progress? Or are you just going out of habit, or why? And it actually made me feel better because I wasn't stressing my body so much. Training, no sleep. You get what I'm saying? So, okay, if I feel now, and there would be other times, fuck, am I being lazy or am I tired? And something would say, you being fucking lazy, get your ass up. And that motivation would come, right? Okay, today is the day I gotta go. But that, I feel like shit. I can't do it. And then you fall asleep while you're thinking about it. You probably need to stay your ass at home, right? So that's this new thing that I'm trying, and I actually, it almost is like training less, which is completely opposite of anything that we were ever taught. But it seems like it does play a part. I was reading some writings or article. Larry Scott did an interview about his training, and he trained his body part, like let's say he did shoulders today. He wouldn't train anything else until today, next week. So if it's Saturday, so he trains shoulders this Saturday, he trains biceps next Saturday, and he trains quads the next Saturday. One body part a week, because he said, if you really want this muscle to recover and progress, that's how much time it takes to produce this progress. Now, of course, that was Larry Scott, and they wasn't as big as they are now, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you can put in that equation now compared to then. But that, it kind of empowered what I was thinking. Maybe we might push ourselves too much, and maybe we may not get enough rest relative to how hard we train ourselves, you know. Like you said, the top guys, they can get the sleep that they need, but for us, when working and doing other things, you don't get the sleep. And sometimes look, there's no way to ever know unless you can go into a parallel universe and check you out getting all the sleep versus you with none of the sleep. There's no way to really know. The point is what feels good. Like she said, is what feels right. And so I think sometimes we have to listen to our body. Sometimes we might have to shut this motherfucker down and chill for a minute, you know? Just for the responsibility of our long-term health. Again, in the end of the day, you never miss no workouts, but, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I worry about.
Go. Go, red shirt. Yeah.
She looked at her shirt.
Do you care what he has to say about you? Just anybody. How about this guy? If he said, do you care? Good. Then what does it matter? So I dealt with that I think the great thing now is when I started lifting, girls were not in the gym. I mean, this is like 16, 17 years ago. This is like back in like 2000. I was sort of in the gym in early 2000s. I played soccer throughout college. So once soccer was over, that's when I sort of got into the gym. But when I went in there, it was only dudes. It was dudes and me. And like girls were on the treadmills, and that's when I would probably get the most flack. Is like, oh, you're starting to look like a guy. Like, you look like a man. Where are your boobs? Like, yeah, I got that I still get it. It's funny because it just doesn't faze me anymore. It's like when you're told something over and over and over, your skin just gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And I think that's kind of just what happened. It's also really good to have a strong support system. So I have a husband that tells me, no,
you look good, babe. You look good, babe.
Really, I like the way you look. Like, I'm not with somebody else. I chose you because I like everything about you. So if you have someone next to you that's constantly giving you that, like, those affirmations, like, oh, okay, I'm okay. But yeah, it was hard because, like, not only did I deal with that from complete strangers on the internet. Joe from California thinks I look like a man, neat. But like I got that from friends, I got it from family. Like people didn't understand, and part of that was I didn't really explain what I was doing, and I don't think I kind of relayed that to my family. Like, hey, like this. I never told anyone like this makes me feel good. I spent a lot of years not liking the way I looked, like from middle school all the way up. Like I hated, absolutely. It was like hated my chest. I hated my legs. My legs were. I always just wanted those little stick legs like everybody else. I wanted to look like everybody else. And there were years of my life where I did not wear shorts because I played soccer. I had big soccer legs and guys would call me thunder thighs, and I hated it. I dealt with a lot of like just body dysmorphia, like hated. And it wasn't until the gym when I found like, wow, like I'm starting to like the parts of myself that I didn't like. And one of my greatest strengths now is being comfortable, you know, like I look around like all my friends, like I hate to always bring up the boobs, but like that's my thing that I'm most proud of, that like I didn't conform. I didn't go like everybody else. I didn't conform when judges told me like, hey, I was second place. I should have won Tampa Pro, but I had to do another show on top, but I lost because I didn't have boobs. That was literally what they told me, because they scaled me down. They marked me down for being more masculine because I don't have boobs. It's like, well, you told me to hit a side chest, man. I'm the only one up there that has a side everyone else does side boob smash. But like, I still deal with it going up and down, like, and it's something that you have to like constantly work with yourself and building that confidence. And like, some days it's like really, really good. And some days like something will happen, or I see something, or I hear something, and it goes away. But then I have to like remind myself, it's like, no, this is who I am. And there are parts of me that I need to learn to accept. And I think I'm finally to the point where like those parts where I can't change, like you can change your body, which I did. And that's when I fell in love with my body, like building delts and building legs. And like you can change your body, but there's parts of you that, you know, like you have to learn to accept, like, okay, no, this is who I am and I need to be proud of it and just learn to accept it. And then all those little comments that you get, they just bounce off. And then you're just a killer after that.
Yeah, I think I've always admired Dana because she seemed to like have created her own lane and didn't give a fuck what nobody thought. And I admired that because I'm the direct opposite. Like I like to create my own lane, but I hate when somebody has something negative to say. Not hate it like I hate this motherfucker, but like it really affects me. And I imagine you ask that question because you deal with it. Like, and I'm not a female, but
It's a lot.
I don't even know.
We deal with a lot of shit.
I don't even know who this motherfucker on Instagram is, but he said, you need to work on your calves. Bitch, I am working on my calves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they little. And now for the rest of the week, I'm hating my motherfucking calves because he brought them up. And like, I don't need you to tell me my shit is little because they always been little. You know, I'm dealing with that, right? Or, you know, I could be feeling pretty good about myself. As soon as I get off the plane in Nashville, I'm like, shit, my shirt feels like it's fitting loose. I think I lost some weight on the plane. I'm gonna get to this gym and be little as shit.
Oh, you got a hard life here.
So I think it's a personality trait. Some people are able to just be so strong mentally and emotionally with themselves that they don't give a fuck what nobody think, right? And some people just do care. And I spent a lot of years trying not to care when I did. And a psychologist actually told me this. He said, quit trying to not have anxiety. Stop trying to not care what people say when you really do, right? And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? He said, and the answer was, be realistic. So when this person says you have small calves and he just confirms something that you already knew, is it the end of the world? It's not the fucking end of the world. I already knew that. Okay, so why am I making it such a big deal? Or this person that just doesn't like you for whatever reason, or they make some negative comments. If you really could do the investigation, you would notice that this person went to about 12 pages saying the same bullshit to people, right? Because that's their thing. That's what they do. And that brought it to reality a bit for me, saying, wow, I give people who don't even know me so much power over me. While, listen to this, while everybody that loves me says the direct opposite and I completely discredit their opinion. So my best friend Dana may say, Cedric, you look fucking awesome. And I'm saying, girl, whatever. But then this person says you look like shit today and I'm like, man, I know. You get what I'm saying?
Don't focus on the negative. You focus on the positive.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to keep moving forward.
Be realistic.
And don't ever let someone else have any power over you. As soon as that you let some person that you've never met actually change your emotional state, you just gave them power over you. So that's the biggest thing that like I try to keep in my head is no one has power over me. I only have power over myself. So don't let someone else steal that from you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's something that we can all relate to. You know, like, you know, we all get hate. You know, it's all about being you and living your life. And you can never live your life until you start giving zero fucks. Because it doesn't matter what you do. People will have opinion. And people will talk that shit. So you must well be yourself and live your life. I'm sure a lot of people can see me up here like Cedric. You don't like my videos. But I don't give a fuck what Cedric said. That shit makes me happy. You know what I mean? It's all about doing what you love. I get a lot of hate on Instagram. You know, a lot of time I actually do reply. And I do agree to them. You know, when you do that, you take that power away from them. Because their goal is to hurt your feelings. You know, but when you show them, you can't hurt me. I'm already hurt. Give me what you want. Give me more. You know? So like that, how long can they do for it? They're going to stop because they see that you got your power and you're not giving it to them. So just live your life. Be yourself. and do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
People will always have opinions, and people will always say shit. So might as well go ahead and just be what the fuck you ever want to be.
Yeah, you know, I think some of us, maybe we don't have the natural ability to look at ourselves and see something positive. Maybe when we look at ourselves, we don't have the ability to believe in ourselves, right? And so the only thing we have to go by is what other people think about us. And we let other people's opinions shape what we think about ourselves. And what I will say about that is, why do we always allow the negative opinions shape what we believe about ourselves? And we never pay attention to the good stuff. Like if you think of any of you that have to deal with this daily, we always put more focus and emphasis on something negative somebody said about us, and we completely discredit the positive things that other people say about us. And I just think it's a human nature thing for some of us. And what I will say is, if you had the absolute power to control how you look in every way, you say, you know what, I want to change this today and I want to make this look like that. How bad would we fuck ourselves up if we had that ability? Like, what would we do? Like, you may think right now you're going to create a perfect version of yourself, but in the end, you may look back and realize that nothing was ever wrong with you to begin with, you know? So I'm kind of glad, like, God made us as individuals, because that's what makes the world so beautiful. You know, there's so many different versions of us. And what we have to do is start appreciating the fact that I am different, you know, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, you think I'm ugly, cool, man, but it ain't the end of the world. Like, I'm still gonna get some ass from somewhere. Somebody gonna give me some, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, like, it ain't the end of the world because this motherfucker don't like you. It ain't the end of the world because this person think you look like a man. It ain't the end of the world because this person think you got small calves. So the fuck what, you know? And we may not be able to not care, but we at least have to find a way to rationalize these feelings that we begin to put on ourselves because of other people's opinions. I mean, like, I think I was watching a sports analyst show, ESPN or something, and it was the NBA Finals. And they were picking LeBron James apart. Like, oh, he didn't do this. And I'm like, this is the best fucking basketball player in the world. Or Tom Brady, for example, the best fucking quarterback in the world. Like, how can you find some negative shit to say? But they always manage to do it. So if people can find shit to talk about, motherfuckers is damn near perfect, of course they're gonna be able to find some shit to say about you. And the point is not whether they talk about you or not. The point is, it doesn't really matter. And it shouldn't matter to you and in your life. As long as you're healthy and you have people around you that love you and you are pursuing your own personal happiness, fuck them. And I think we have to try to rationalize like that.
Yeah. Good question. I think we have time for one more, right? Did you say one? Man in the back.
Yeah.
Along those lines, y'all's least favorite group of training and why?
Ugh. But I hate training legs because it is just hard as fuck. I love training delts because they are fun as fuck. No, you always hate, like, the thing that, like, if you like training, like, if your favorite body parts to train is arms, that's because you don't like to train really hard. Like, but, right? I'm just saying. You pussy, if you like, I love training arms. Because it's easy, bro. You know that. But yeah, legs for me is like a love and hate. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because it's just so painful. But like anything upper body. I hate training arms and I don't do it because it's boring and stupid.
I mean, I don't think I have any favorite body part to train. For me, it's like, once I'm getting that pump.
But your new one is now delts because I showed you some new. So now when you look at his next show, check out.
So when y'all see me next year when I take on shoulders, that's a secret.
Yep.
We can't discuss that right.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I don't think I have any favorite body part. I love training and I love the pump. And for me, it doesn't matter where the pump is coming from, the quads, fucking shoulders, legs, that shit just put me on. I love it.
He likes training arms. Is that the way you're gonna say?
I hate training biceps. And it's because I wish they would grow and they don't. So I'm pissed off every time I try. I'm wasting my fucking time. This shit doesn't feel right. Nothing's gonna happen. Oh, it's burning, but they ain't gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's burning, but they ain't gonna grow. You know, shit like that. Versus my calves actually don't grow much, but I love training them because it's like, I'm gonna figure these motherfuckers out. But for some reason with biceps, it's like, my biceps are shitty. They just not, and I don't like it. And listen, I talked to somebody about this, and the way she related it was like having children, right? So if you have your favorite kid versus
Now
kid
that is
gets on your
rude.
nerves.
You are not
Watch
allowed to
this.
have a
Check it out. Check it out. On favorite pet, how many dogs you got? Like 20?
Pie is the best.
A bunch of fucking dogs, you know what I'm saying? So when you got this favorite kid and you treat it so special, you love it, you know, you enjoy spending time with it, and then you have this kid that you don't really like spending time with, how can you possibly, think about it. No. Hey, okay, watch this. Y'all ain't got kids. Parents, do you have your favorite kid?
No, come on, man.
And then do you have that kid that get on your damn nerves?
Bad parents.
You got that kid that's like, this motherfucker here, man, I swear to God, I wish somebody would come get him. I don't want him. I don't want him no
As a
more.
parent, I don't think you're supposed to say this out
No,
loud.
I don't even know how I made this bastard because he is nothing like me. Look, my oldest son, I'm getting off subject. My oldest son is 14 years old and he is the laziest dude I ever met in my life, right? That's living as comfortably as he's living. My son is so lazy. I said, hey son, what's your favorite animal? He said, a tree sloth. I said, why? Because they just be chilling. A tree sloth is the laziest fucking animal in the world, and that's his favorite animal. You lazy son. So anyway, this is what we compared it to. Compared to your favorite kid and your least favorite kid. How can you expect this child to perform better or become better if you never show no love to it? If you always looking at it with this face and you always cussing this child the same way you cuss your biceps or you curse your calves, how do you think that negative energy that you project to it is going to affect it, right? And so that brought up a real good point to me. She said, so from now on, when you train your bicep or whatever this body part is, she say good things to it. I'm gonna train the shit out you.
Good
You're gonna
job.
start to
You looking
bicep,
so
baby. You gonna like literally, she said, do that. She said, because you have to understand the words that you, and I seen a study where they projected words and sounds to plants, and it affects them, right? And she said, you have to understand that there's energy in the vibrations of the words that you speak and the tone that you project to this object. So, yeah, so even if you fake and say good things to your bicep, at least you're not saying bad things to it, right? To give it the opportunity to feel the love. And some people don't believe that your muscles actually have this psychological connection, but I believe that it does because the body works together in unison. So look, like, and to this day, I have to remind myself, stop being mad at your biceps.
Be nice to your biceps, kids.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end.
So
Be nice to your biceps.
So if you have a body part that you don't like to train, my advice would be to train it more. Train it more often, spend more time with it. Because the problem is that literally, just like with a kid or with a person, you haven't established a good relationship with that body part, literally. To where, yeah, me and this body part just don't connect very well. That's why I hate it. You know what I'm saying? So to spend that time with it could help establish a better connection. Yeah.
Love your biceps, guys. Thank you so much for all your questions. Thank you for coming out to the gym today. You have something to say, sir? Announcement.
Thank you, everyone up here. There we go. There's a